Congrats on the performance. It was awe-inspiring to say the least, honestly. Like, can you tell us a little bit how you first became attached to the script and what your initial reaction was after reading it?
Paul Schrader gave me a call. We talked for like an hour, laughed a lot, really learned a lot in that first conversation about the script. He sent it to me. I read it, and I was on. But the first time I read it, I was like, I don't know, but and then I read it again. I read it again, and I'm like, I get it. I totally comprehend this, and I know so many people like this, like the Will Tell character, that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and I hope when people see it, they dig in a little more when they meet people like that, get to know them a little bit more. Maybe you can be of service.
Now I want to talk about your character, Lalinda. Like, she's fiercely confident, never afraid to show her intellectuality through her witty dialogue. Would you say that, like, did you have to look at any other past performances in older noir films to help portray this attitude? Or did you already have a little bit of her in you?
I think I already had a little bit of her in me, and Paul, through the rehearsal process, helped me to really develop and get that out, bring her out. Um, it's funny because when we for the first rehearsal, I was really bad because I was bringing all this comedy to it, right? And
Right.
that's not what it was about. And I was like, but somebody has to be light. He's like, you can be light, but you don't need to be that. And so he was giving me. I love Paul because he was straight up. Like there was no sugarcoating anything. He was very straight up with me and really explained to me what he wanted, and I was able to give that.
Got you. Now, I do have to say, you had some very beautiful dramatic scenes alongside Oscar Isaac. And I wanted to know, what was it like working with him, and would you work with him again if given the opportunity?
It was okay working with him. I mean, if they paid me enough money, I guess. No, it was super fun working with him.
Yeah.
I learned so much from him about stillness, about just being present, and that you can still convey a lot of information without having any movement whatsoever, and just saying the words and just being in the emotion, but not necessarily showing the emotion, which is what I like to do because I've that's comedy, and it has to transcend. For me, comedy I feel like has to transcend different language barriers and all that. So you have to be a little physical, you have to be expressive, but this is drama, which is way easier. A little bit boring sometimes, but once you sit back and watch it, you're like, wow, this is amazing.
Right, right.
I killed that. My energy is always so up, but I would definitely work with Oscar again in any kind of project, whatever it was. If he wanted to work with me, I would work with him.
Right. I mean, that's fair. And what, I guess for my final question, what scene was your favorite to shoot?
The scene that was my favorite to shoot, I really liked I liked everything, but the one I liked the most is they're having a competition and the guy's like USA, USA, and then
Yeah.
kind of like mess up and I jump up and I'm like high fiving somebody and like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know why I liked it. I guess because I didn't have that many lines in that scene. I don't know, but I really liked that one.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for your time. I appreciate you and I appreciate it. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wanted to acknowledge what an impressive career you've had already at such a young age.
Thank you.
You've worked with some very prominent filmmakers from Terrence Malick to Spielberg and now Paul Schrader. How would you describe your shooting experience on this film compared to the other ones that you've done in the past?
Yeah, I think the filmmaker that I could compare Paul to the most might be Rick Alverson. I've done two movies with Rick Alverson. Both of them are very economical in their approach to directing. I think Paul, specifically on the first day we were shooting, we were doing this scene out by the pool, and I think I was nervous. I was just trying to settle into this character and feel it out. And then I think on the first take, he just asked me if I would start in the middle of the scene and just do the back half of the scene, which is kind of, you know, as an actor, you're really hoping to do the entire scene, so you can kind of
Right.
work up to the end. But I found that really interesting. You know, he wanted to do that because he knows he's going to be using that shot only for the back half of the scene in the edit, so he doesn't want to waste any time. You know, and I think it was fun. It was new and exciting, and I think it keeps you on your toes and like, you know, it also makes you respect the guy for wanting to focus, you know, his time and energy on the most important parts of the scene as well.
Your character Kirk had two very pivotal scenes, the pool scene included, but specifically the motel room scene with Oscar Isaac. So without giving too much away, were those scenes as intense, like shooting them, were they as intense or as they looked, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty intense. That one scene was pretty intense in the motel room towards the end of the film, because, you know, I think Oscar is, I mean, number one, he's playing a pretty intense character, and he also brings an intensity himself, you know, in his focus. You know, he's very focused. He's very serious about, you know, his job, and I think it's a pleasure to work with people like that because he's a true professional, and I think he brings all that he has to set. And when you're working with someone like that, it's easy for people to recognize that and respect it and reciprocate it. And you have the entire set it affects the entire set, so everybody is just super dialed in, super zoned in, and it becomes a lot of fun, you know, because everybody's just, you know, you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, that definitely does sound like a lot of fun working with them. Now, your character has a very deep, like, emotional drive, one that stems from heartbreak and revenge. How are you able to channel some of those emotions?
Well, I mean, I think I think throughout life, you know, you either experience or you are close to people that experience, you know, certain trauma in their past that they're still struggling to cope with. And, you know, I think that we naturally, I think we carry resentment quite easily, and, you know, especially when it's connected to pain. And I think this was a great exploration of that, you know, with this character. And I think that was exciting for me because I hadn't really played that before. I hadn't really played a character that was so angry and had so much rage and so much desire for revenge. And I think, yeah, and it's all connected to past trauma.
What do you personally think about your character? Do you find yourself relating or sympathizing with him in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think sympathizing with him for sure. And I think everybody, you know, has their own experience, you know, and is living their life. And I think we all, you know, we go through ups and downs in our life, you know, and sometimes those downs, you know, can really get us down and really be, you know, hanging on to our coattails. And so how you shake them off and move forward is a big deal. And I think that's largely what this movie is about. I think that's the thematic pillar that the movie is standing on. So I think everybody could relate to that in that sense. And that was probably the thing that drew me to the story the most.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time and congrats again.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.